I got this car up in the air. The plan is to do the upper and lower torque boxes and also the anti-roll bar. So what I gotta do right now, I got the car up in the air on jack stands. I gotta remove the rear. So take out the tires and remove the rear and suspension. And then I'll be able to work on the torque boxes. I'll do the uppers first because the lowers right now it's welded. So the subframes is welded. Subframe connectors are welded to the torque boxes. So I gotta deal with that later. Alright guys, so we got the rear end out. Now we're gonna start attacking these torque boxes. We're gonna remove the upper torque boxes and then we're gonna move down to the lower torque boxes. Unfortunately, the subframe connectors is welded where the torque boxes go, so I'm gonna end up having to cut that. And then I'm just gonna have to reinforce the subframes after I install the torque boxes because the subframe is connected to the roll cage. Alright, later. So I ended up cutting out the anti-roll bar because it was already bent. So I cut it out the car. So I got that out. But I gotta remove the mounts of the anti-roll bar as well as the torque boxes. So it looks like they welded the top. Look at that, look at that. It welded. So I started cutting this, but I just don't want to damage the frame either. So I'm just cutting out the welds. Do this, do that. I gotta do all this, that. Get that upper control arm out. Upper torque box out. Alright guys, so I ended up cutting this. Split that. I cut the back side of it. I tried to cut this off, but it's I don't want to cut into the frame, so I'm doing it at a time. And then I also did this side too. So I got that split as well as the back side of that. And then I gotta do the anti-roll bar. So essentially everything that's on the frame, I'm removing, cutting off. This is on the frame, this is on the frame. Gotta get this off. Gotta do both sides, that off too. So, and then I'm probably gonna cut the floor out because I'm not trying to drill out all the damn spot welds right here. So it's gonna be cut right there. And then essentially I should be able to remove this in one piece, this whole piece right here. All this should be removed in one piece. And then I'll be able to weld in the new torque box. And then I'll just rebuild the floor. So what's actually making this job much harder is it was already reinforced. So the previous owner already went in and fully welded everything. All the welds were fully welded in, which makes it much harder. Because from the factory, these were just spot welded, but look, everything is fully welded in. So you gotta get into that. Grind it, cut it, grind it. Do whatever you can to get this removed. All right guys, so this is what I got done so far. So I'm being very meticulous when I'm cutting close to the frame. I don't wanna cut into my frame. So I got that. Did this, did the back side of that. Did this. Back side right there. And I also did the front over here. So I need to finish up cutting out the anti-roll bar. And then I'm gonna get it from the top right here along this line, this edge, and then the bottom right here. So I'm in the process of still removing the torque boxes. So from the factory, torque boxes from the factory were just spot welded, which made it so much easier. But this car was actually fully welded in already. The previous owner already fully welded in. They already tried to reinforce the factory torque boxes, and they put this anti-roll bar right on top of the torque box. So I gotta remove that as well. So I'm probably gonna cut the floor out, and I'm probably gonna redo this whole backside because I don't like the shelving brackets at all. So I'm gonna rebuild this backside and the flooring and go from there. Over here, slowly chopping this car away. So here's the back half of the car. I'm gonna remove all the back bracketry because it's useless weight. The only thing that's gonna be back there is just a battery. Put the battery right here on this side, right on top of the frame rail right here. And then the rest, I'm just gonna cover this up. I don't even need all this bracketry. It's just useless weight for nothing. Because before, this car had a fuel cell here. And then they made this to support the fuel cell. But I'm not even running a fuel cell that big. And the fuel cell is actually going to be up front. And I'm also going to chop this off because this is pointless. Cut that off. Down. Right before the frame, because it's gonna, just for aerodynamics, this is just gonna catch wind. There's no need for that. The bumper is gonna be here. I'm probably gonna cut that too. All right, guys, so this is what I ended up cutting out. The brace that the previous owner had here. I removed that. I'm probably just gonna put a bar from here to here, and then from here to here, just a bar like that. And then put a little bar here so I could put some weight just in case I need some ballast. All right, so I also ended up cutting this out because it had this excess sheet metal here, which wasn't really doing anything, and it looked real ugly. So I trimmed this out and I cut it out. That's how it looks. Looks cleaner. Alright guys, so this is what I ended up doing. So I cut out the bracing and grinded everything down. I re-trimmed everything, and then I also trimmed the back of this bumper. This because it was actually like a flat sheet metal over here that could cause parasitic drag, or cause aerodynamics. So wind will catch it and slow the car down. So I actually cut that down, trimmed that up, and I finally got the anti-roll bar mount, as well as most of the, well, I just gotta grind that down, but the torque box, because the torque box and the anti-roll bar was right on top of the torque box. So I had to, I don't know, I had a real hard time getting that shit out. So now all I gotta do is just grind this down. But whoever said that this is easy, especially a fully welded torque box, is not fun at all. And I only did one side. I just wanted to get a video out to you guys. So that's only one side. I gotta hit up this side. So same thing, same process. I gotta get rid of that torque box as well as the anti-roll bar mount, and then grind. And that's only upper torque boxes. And then we'll move on to the lower. But this is actually taking quite some time because I can't really get a full day into this with my busy schedule. But hey, we slowly chipping away. It is what it is. Later.